so beautiful. 78 degrees, Jets football, and we're winning. That's what's going on today. That's why everybody's so psyched. This isn't no happenstance. This is a guarantee, just like Joe Namath said. See that?
There are few things in life you cannot put a price on. Loyalty, tradition, fierce passion. Today is a gigantic family reunion because finally, they're back.
Why am I so little? There I am. What's happening, everybody? Hey, welcome to the Wednesday show. Looks like there's a little weird delay. This is like the old days. It's like an old days kind of a thing where I feel delayed. I got to look on the screen. Well, I'm Green Bean. Welcome to the show. We'll see how this one goes today. You know what's going on. The platform that I use, StreamYard. Let me see. The stream. Yeah, it's definitely delayed. It's weird. Hopefully it settles down. The platform that I use. Look at this. It's so weird. StreamYard, they're adding every time I sign on. I mean every day. Every single day. There's a new thing that they're adding. Hey, we just added this. Hey, we just upgraded that. Hey, we did a thing. Now you can this. Now you can have dancing hula girls and all this kind of stuff. And what's happening in the meantime, that's all great. I'm all about it. New stuff, right? I'm in. But what's happening while they're doing is that the normal shit that I depend on, just like being able to show you guys a web page. Like last night, we tried to show you, I wanted you to show a video and then the sound wouldn't come through. So like those things are falling to the wayside. It's like, yeah, now I can show you guys the surface of Mars, but like I'm delayed, just my normal stuff, which seems to be catching up. Right? So that's what's going on. So I do apologize. Hopefully we get it all straightened out around these parts. But anyway, I'm Green Bean. Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday, December 3rd. About 12 days left in my 52nd year on this planet, my friends. 12 days from right now. So 52 years ago, there was a little lady and she had a big old belly and she was like, oh, when is this asshole going to come out of my body? That's what was going on right now. 52 years ago in Newark or Orange, New Jersey. That's what was happening. I think it was Newark, Newark, New Jersey. My little old mother was filled with her belly was big and bloated with little Green Bean waiting to come and see the world. How's that? It zoomed in. Let's see. It zoomed in like crazy. No, it's not, Rusty Spooner. I'm all good. Well, I got the this is my normal stuff. Zoomed in. I don't know. Zoomy. Oh, that, right? Yeah, what the fuck is that? Like, this is what I was asking you guys about last night. Ryder and Talon's pa, who we now know his name is Tom, because of the way YouTube is doing that now. Who knew what that was, what that's all about? But it's doing this. So look, one of the new things it's offering is like, hey, do you want to run like one of the things that, it's like you do your live stream normal, and then we can also run it on the vertical. It's like, great. Okay, let's do that. That seems to be a benefit. But then what it's doing is it's showing the vertical with the horizontal face. It's like, no, you're supposed to do it like Instagram. But I don't know. Maybe it's got to be some sort of user error, right? Boss girl. Yeah. So that's what I actually just did that for something else that was glitchy. But when you zoom, when you pop in and out, once a live stream starts there, boss girl, you know what I mean? Once it starts, you can't, especially if I'm alone, if it's on like a Sunday, like a game stream or something, look at my ear holes or my ear flaps. Here it is. If it's like on Sunday or something where I have a co-host, then I can pop out and pop in because then Jeremy or Frankie or whoever Gunny can run the show. But right now I'm alone. If I popped out, it would look like this. It would be like, hey, who wants to watch that? Blitz Crew says, I was born in Newark as well. Friday is my day, but my due date was supposed to be the 15th. So there you go. So you were born early. With my birthday is the 15th, Blitz Crew, and we were both born in Newark. Look at that. My family. Listen to this. You want to hear something fun? So my mother's crew. So she had 4 brothers, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 brothers, and my grandmother. They grew up in Newark, like in the inner city of Newark, in the projects. Funny story, my mother lived in the projects that Frankie Valley, 4 Seasons, was the janitor. He worked as the janitor in my mother's projects, and he would sing to the kids and shit like that. And then when he first went on, like, I don't know, whatever show it was, they all got together in the apartments, and back then not everybody had a TV, so they went to the apartment that had a TV, a bunch of the neighbors, and they watched Frankie sing on live TV. They were all excited about it. Isn't that interesting? But the other thing is this. So my mother, she grew up in Newark, and then my family was from the Hamptons in Long Island. So they all had, all their summers were in the Hamptons. Now, this is before the Hamptons were the Hamptons. It was farmland. And my family, which some of them are still out there, I actually just went to a funeral out there last year for my Uncle Georgie. And we were, we visited like our family grave site is out there and everything. And it's just crazy because my family owned all this land out there, tons of farms. And they got rid of it or moved out or whatever. It went to the city where the work is in Newark, and they sold it before it was all Hamptons money. You know what I mean? Because it's like their land is now the Hamptons. So missed another one. Isn't that fun? So anyway, what's with the weird video? Yeah, that's the thing. So I was just talking about it. So you're on that one. If you go to my channel, the other one is available too. So it's running both right now. It's just something I'm trying, Fletch. Like it's something offered now. So I was like, all right, let me see what that's all about. But it's weird, right? It's like sticking. It's like, I'm like this on that other one. So I don't know. Yeah, I see a lot of you guys are on that too. Like Rusty Spooner's on it, Fletch is on it. Maybe not a lot of you guys. Some of you though. Let me see how many of you guys are on that one. Let me see. I got 85 on the regular channel right now. And I got 20 of you are on the weird channel. And then I got another 41 on X. So you guys are all over the joint. No quitters on this live stream, right, Chris? Yeah, the director's cut. It's widescreen, Wes. Wes? I think it's you, right? You're the Wes that was just with us in the Beanbagger Hangout. It was mellow tonight. But Alan Dodge, Harry, Wes, myself, we got to talk quarterbacks, and as you guys may or may not know by now, the Beanbaggers every other week we get together. In a private little Zoom room, and we either, we watch old game film, we watch, we talk about positions, or we just hang out. It's a great thing, and I love those guys. Today it was just a couple of us, but you guys can join that. The link's in the description, the Beanbaggers, and you can just join the Stream Beaners and get the emojis and all the live stream stuff, the super chats and everything, and it all supports the channel. It's greatly appreciated, man. I really do appreciate it. Who's this? Harry says, were you born with that beard? I was. I was born with the beard. Well, you guys know the beard popped out I've had a beard for a long time, for a lot of years, but it was more, I had like a shorter beard, like a chin strappy kind of thing for a long time. And then when I started this rehab, I was the program director of this rehab, and the first 6 months of work, because we built that place from scratch, and like the stress of it, like I would stay there. I had a beautiful couch in my office, and I would sleep in my office and wake up and keep working. And I was the housing manager, the program director, and a primary therapist. So I had a caseload and everything. And it was stressful. And in like a 3-4 month period, my beard turned completely white. Maybe 6 months. Isn't that crazy? I would come home, like I would leave for work and then stay, whatever. I would come home and my wife would say, "Holy shit, there's more gray in your beard than yesterday, than when you left." I shit you not. That's real. So anyway, we're gonna hang out and talk some Jets tonight. I got some stuff. I want to talk about Garrett Wilson. It's an interesting thing because I got into a conversation with somebody, a couple of people, a few weeks back, and then also this week about Garrett Wilson. Jay-Z, what's up? It's good to see you, man. Yay, where you been? I hope everything's okay. I mean, shit happens. We got stuff in life, but it's nice to see you, and I hope the world is treating you well and all that jazz, man. But either way, it's nice to see you. So I got in these conversations about Garrett Wilson being potentially upset if we were to bring more talent in at the wide receiver position. Like as much as he wants to win and all that, which is evident, he also could, like what they were trying to say was that they pick up the vibe that he would rather be the big fish in the small pond than a role player, successful role player on a winning team. And I don't know where that comes from. Number one, we don't know because we're not a winning team. So we have no idea how anybody would react. Even ourselves, we don't even know how we would react anymore if we were winners, because we haven't done that in a long time. And whatever we were like the last time the Jets won, like I told you, speaking of beards, the last time the Jets were relevant, which was 2009, 2010, that's, we're talking 15 solid years ago. I didn't have a white beard. I was in my 30s, dude. I was in my 30s. I was a young father, young, be relatively speaking. My wife, think about this. The last time the Jets were relevant, I was, I was 37 years old. My wife was I had a 26-year-old wife, so she's in her 20s. I'm in my 30s. We got a young son, little baby boy. It was a whole different life. It's a whole different life. The last time the Jets, so I have no idea. If the Jets were a good team, I don't know how I'd handle it. I might be a complete mental case. I might be really fun to be around. I might be a grump. I just don't know. I might have a heart attack. Right, Harry? Harry Wiener in the chat. He's a beanbagger extraordinaire. He's been with me since the beginning. Harry's one of the guys who's been hanging with me Harry jumped on the green bean train early. And Harry has come to numerous games with us. He showed up at the Cyclone when we were doing that. Like, Harry's been with me a long time. And Harry's a little bit older than I am. He's in his 70s. So I don't know, Harry. The Jets, imagine the Jets were really good and won the Super Bowl on like a big bomb, you know what I mean? A really exciting play. We might have heart attacks. Right, Harry? So I don't know where this bad rap comes from with Garrett Wilson. Like what I see, let me tell you what I see with Garrett Wilson. I see a guy who, through it all, has been unwilling to accept the quitter mentality, which was rampant around here. We've talked about it ad nauseum on this channel. Saleh, who refused to hold anyone accountable. Garrett Wilson has been a consistently unhappy person, unwilling to accept that it's okay to quit. He doesn't quit. And we've seen him get rocked. Like, this is the first time that he's actually injured. Like, so many times I thought Garrett Wilson was injured. And he's back on the field 2 plays later. You know, he's always working his ass off, and he's always unhappy when things, when we're not squeezing the lemon. Like, if there's fucking 5-10 seconds left, he's like, why aren't we trying to use that 10 seconds to get some points? Like, that's what he is. So I see a winner. I see a guy who is as driven as anybody that we've had on the Jets. That's what I see. Other people see that his reactions and everything. They see it as kind of diva. I don't know where that comes from, because the problem with the Jets, who can deny, it's been lack of accountability, quitting, lackluster performance, not good enough, not playing hard enough, coming out of the bye soft, starting games slow. Like, what is that? The fact that you can come onto a field, right? You have 53 multimillionaires getting paid to play a game. Their whole job, their entire life is to practice and be good at this game, not carrying roof tiles to the roof. They're not doing anything of the sort. Their whole job is to play this game that we all love and we all wish we could make a career out of playing. They come out on the field. There's 80,000 people in a building. Yeah, yelling. They got AC/DC playing. Thunder. Thunder. Quinnen Williams. Yeah. Sauce Gardner. Yeah. They come out on the field to all that energy. You got 80,000 people that came into a building, paid money to yell and scream. And they come out onto the field and they look disinterested. How can that be okay? Garrett Wilson, to me, has epitomized that that's not okay. He's the physical representation of that not being okay with him. So when somebody says that he's a diva, or that he's not going to like it if other people are here to share the wealth and all that kind of shit. Like when I don't understand where that comes from. When Devontae Adams came here, Garrett Wilson was totally fine. He didn't seem to me like he had a problem with it. The problem was Aaron Rodgers. How many times did we watch Aaron Rodgers miss wide open Garrett Wilson last year? How many times? He's running down the sideline. He beat his guy. He's wide open for a walk-in touchdown, and Aaron Rodgers sailed it over his head. God forbid, talking about the years before that with Zach Wilson or Tim Boyle or whoever. You know what I mean? Like, he's played with 10 quarterbacks or so already. Think about that. So the idea that Garrett Wilson is going to be unhappy if we bring in other talent, like they're worried. Where did it go? We're worried about, number one, wait a minute. So we're worried about how he's going to react if we have like another wide receiver, like a real bona fide wide receiver too. So think about, like, if we go into this draft, right? We have a draft coming up where the Jets have 2 firsts and 2 seconds. Common thought process is that the Jets are going to use at least one of those premium picks, one of those top 4 picks in this upcoming draft on a wide receiver. What do we say? A wide receiver 2. Let me see. Yeah, and I know, Mike, and that's what we're gonna do. I love what you're saying there. We got to have a conversation on what wide receiver 2 is. All right, I love it. So we're gonna use one of these picks on a wide receiver. Now, maybe if the quarterback isn't there, maybe just maybe we're using a top 10 pick on a wide receiver. All right, let me see something here. Hold on. Come on. Why won't this fucking work, man? I gotta hold on a second. Sit tight for a second. I'm going to refresh and I'm going to come right back and see if this works. Hold on. Just bear with me. We're calling that the boss girl technique. Okay. I just boss girled it. That's what I just did. So now I got to see. So yeah, so we're going to use that, maybe even a top 10 pick on a wide receiver. Add to that, we just traded his partner, Sauce Gardner, his counterpart. And part of that trade was to bring in another, not top 10 receiver, but a receiver that just a year ago was a top 50. He was a 52nd pick. So a premium level wide receiver. And then you got Mechie coming out of Alabama and another premium. He was a first round pick talent. So you bring in Mechie, 80 Mitchell, and then maybe even a top 10 wide receiver or even a first round wide receiver. The idea is that Garrett Wilson's going to be unhappy. Now I'm going to show you something. I know it's crazy because I haven't seen anybody really talk about this to any great degree, but I want to talk about it. Let's see if it comes up now using my boss girl technique. Come on. Work. It's not going to work. All right, hold on. I'm going to try a different way. Let's try this. Let's try this whole thing. Huh? How you doing? What are you doing? What are you going to do? You know, sometimes you just got to figure it out. There we go. So we're going to try this. We'll try this. Whoops. We'll try to do it like this. See if this works. And maybe I got to do it this way. It's going to cut off my face probably, but let's see. Here we go. Yep, cut right off my face. Let's see. There we go. I move my face over. That's what I do. So when AD Mitchell, now don't worry about fat bastard that's sitting there. I don't know. I should have cut that off, but I didn't. I'm not having it's not IT catfish. It's just, I don't know, sick. Again, there's a lot of new shit coming on this platform, and they've abandoned the tried and true, like, foundational shit that I use. You got lagging? I'm not I'm looking at YouTube. I don't see lagging. Yeah. That's what I was saying at the beginning. So there's a delay. It's weird. I don't know what's going on, but we can get through it. We're fine. I look clear. My voice is coming through clear. It's just the voice and the thing is off. Everybody fucking calm down. Huh? How you doing? Stop crying. All right. It's all good. So Garrett Wilson, when AD Mitchell caught that bomb, which was his first NFL touchdown from Tyrod Taylor, which was an interesting pass, but who cares? The result is the result, right? The result is the result. Garrett Wilson dropped that tweet. That's Garrett Wilson. Again, we can make up whatever we want to make up about what we think he's going to feel and all this kind of stuff. Oh, I think he's this, or he's he's a diva or whatever. I haven't seen diva once with Garrett Wilson. I see a man who is unafraid to make an issue out of things not being good enough. Dude, we haven't won more than 7 games in 5 years or 6 years. And last year we won 5 games and we're a 3-win team now. Like we should want people to be unhappy. We should want our premium players, guys that are supposed to be leaders, to be pissed, right? We should want that, not look at it as a negative. Everybody's so sensitive these days. What's weird about this? How come I can see? Let me see something else. Hold on. See if this works. Nope. 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 That's the best I got. All right. But anyway, so there's the tweet. I tried to do it for you guys. It's not working. So when you see when A.D. Mitchell catches a bomb touchdown and everybody's talking about his ability, his, again, second round pick, top 50 pick, and all this kind of stuff, you would get the idea that Garrett Wilson might feel threatened, especially when he can't be on the field. And what is he saying? He's dropping a tweet that looks genuinely excited. Let's effing go, man. I believe that Garrett Wilson would be delighted if the entire offense was stacked and we were a juggernaut that just scored points all day. I think Garrett Wilson is going to be delighted with that shit. Now, I don't know where it comes from, the idea, and no sexy grok. That's funny. That's funny. Let me see something. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, Sean. That's the problem. I'm aware, guys. It's okay. I mean, there's worse things going on. There's people hungry out there in this world. I got a 2-second delay on the sound. And I got to get rid of that other video. I think that's having something to do with it too. That secondary video that they're putting out. Let me get this fucking thing out of here. I hate it. There it is. Let's get rid of that channel. I don't know why it's delayed. It's pissing me off. But so, let me ask you guys. Let me know in the comments right now, and we'll have this conversation. Where do you stand on the idea that Garrett Wilson is going to somehow be a problem if we, if we stack the offense? Because look, here's the thing. Garrett Wilson is in my opinion, much, much better than we've been able to see. Dude, again, we have myriad examples of him being wide open and the quarterback being unable to hit him. Everybody from Zach Wilson to Tim Boyle to Trevor Siemian to Mike White to Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields, right? We've seen them all miss Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is open. If you got a quarterback that can just hit him, Garrett Wilson's lighting up the league. So it's my opinion that you can bring in any wide receiver here that you want. You can have A.D. Mitchell. You can literally go with 11 personnel and have Garrett Wilson alongside Breece Hall, Mason Taylor, 2 very good receivers in their own right, and have A.D. Mitchell and first-round wide receiver, all of them. And I think Garrett Wilson's going to figure out – Garrett Wilson's going to be one of the guys that's wide open. He's wide open a lot when he's the focal point of the pass defense. It's working fine now. Yeah, I know it caught up a couple times. Again, we're gonna get through it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna live. We're gonna live through this one. I'm not doing that other video anymore though. That second one, I don't like it. Right, Rusty? Rusty Spooner don't like it. I don't like it. You know what I mean? Sean don't like it. Shawnee Rock. I don't like it. You guys don't like it. I don't like it. Jason Edwards says GW5 is a beast. Right, man. Now, let me ask you guys. I'm going to look through the comments. I want to know, what is your interpretation of Garrett Wilson gripes, right? When he's all bent out of shape. We've seen him yell at coaches. We've seen him fight with Aaron Rodgers. You've seen him, recently walking off the half, giving Aaron Glenn an earful. What do you make of that? And number two, do you think Garrett Wilson is going to be a problem? It is going to have an issue with the offense being more loaded as opposed to him running around out there with Tyler Johnson, Reynolds, and Alan Lazard. If he's running out there with Brazel from Tennessee, A.D. Mitchell, and Mechie, which, by the way, I see no reason why we can't be a loaded offense. No reason. Well, yeah, the kid, what's his name again? The kid from Ohio State, Tate, right? Let me see here. Let me see here. I gotta see. Carnell Tate, I think it is, right? Let me just see. I gotta, I'm not all Dom C'd up yet. Dom C could have told us all these guys' names. Yeah, Carnell Tate, Ohio State. So I'll tell you what, the guy that I want early, and this is early and it's just very surface level right now. The guy I want, and again, I might be saying it, it's either Brazel or Brazel. It's probably Brazel out of Tennessee. And the reason I want him is because as dynamic as he is, I like the big body. I like putting another 5 to 10 pounds on him, and I want him to be my possession receiver. That's what I want. I got to really look at him. I don't know. I like his 6'5", 4.4 speed. I'm going to get some comments. Benji Younger. What's up, Benji? What are you saying? Come on. Benji says, we will have zero issue with Garrett Wilson if we win. I agree with you. That's what I think. Oregon. There you go. Garrett has always been a classy dude, passionate on the field, but not a diva. That's what I say. See, now, J-Boy, this is what I don't get. I think Garrett Wilson is better than everybody thinks. That's what I think. I think he is incredibly underrated. Evidenced by catches like the shin is in. One of the greatest catches in NFL history. One of the greatest catches in NFL history. Here I go, Laggy Laggerton again. You see it? And you want to know why? Because I opened up these draft pages. I don't know what happened, like Draft Tech and Draft Buzz and all these. You want to get like the list of players. Dude, they are so laggy. They take up so much bandwidth. It's crazy. They have all kinds of ads. I don't know what they're doing. Just ask for a $2 membership and yeah, fucking. Anyway, I digress. Sean, lots. I'm not saying lots of people, but I've been in, again, a couple, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I got into 2 separate conversations. And just yesterday, I got into a conversation with somebody that was telling me Garrett Wilson's going to be a problem. And that they already see a problem with Garrett Wilson. Ruby checking in. Garrett is a competitor. I have zero problem with players being pissed off at mediocrity. Right on, Ruby. That's what I'm saying. Now, look, you don't want somebody to be a head case and problematic, all the time. But like when things aren't okay, again, we're losing games. We were 0-6 when Garrett Wilson was giving Aaron Glenn an earful. 0-5, whatever it was. We haven't won a game yet. Why is he supposed to be happy? I don't like it. Joe Grana says, if we stack the offense, Garrett will feast with a legit quarterback. I could not agree more. Dude, I'm of the thought, especially with our offensive line starting to develop, and anybody who's got issues with our offensive line, like, again, I just feel like Jets fans, we're trying so hard to be unhappy. Offensive lines need to play together. That is a 5-person unit. 5 different players. And you have to factor in the blocking schemes, adding a tight end and the running back. And there's a lot to it. But an offensive line is 5 men that have to play together as one. The Jets have not had 5 guys returning in a long time. Like after every year, we're changing it out. Becton's getting injured. We got Fant. We got Morgan Moses. We got Dwayne Brown. We got, what was his name? Tyron Smith. Think of these are all tackles in the last 3 or 4 years. AVT's injured every year. So we start with him, and then we got to figure something else out. The Joe Tippmann, center, guard, center, AVT, tackle, left tackle, right tackle, guard. It's like, this is what we've been doing. This is the first year. If AVT could have just stayed healthy, this would have been the first year that all 4, and then adding the rookie, that 4 guys would have been coming back. AVT getting hurt forced Myers to be moved to center, so we had to shuffle it around. So Tippmann is playing out of position. He's playing guard, which he's playing well. And we don't know, maybe you can, depending on what you want to do in the offseason, depending on what's available to you, you want to either backfill, get a premium center. Like if you're able to get Linderbaum in here, dude, do it and keep Tippmann at guard. But if you're able to get a guard, move Tippmann back to center. That's fine. But right now, you got Fashanu coming back for his second year playing next to Simpson. Great. Now, Simpson, in my opinion, is the weak link on the line, but he's good. If he ends up being the weak link, that's good enough for me, and then you have a guy developing behind him or whatever. I'd like to re-sign Simpson. But you got Simpson and Fashanu coming back together. If Tippmann was playing center, you'd have that whole center to left line coming back for the first time in forever. So you got Tippmann over at right guard, and you got Myers at center. Now, Myers, I think, needs to be upgraded on. I would love to see him brought back because depth, he's about as good of depth as you could possibly want. And we got to see what the right guard thing looks at. But I'd love to see Linderbaum, Tippmann stay at guard. But if Tippmann's going back to center, you need to guard. So then really next year, we're still going to have some new pieces. But an offensive line, if most of them are coming back, they're going to get better as time goes on. They're playing lights out for all their warts, in my opinion. So you get an offensive line to continue to stay together and keep getting better week after week, year after year. Bringing a young quarterback to that is going to help immeasurably. Add to that a legitimate running back, stable. Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, and Wangu. Keep them together. Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis are cheap for the next 2 years. There's no thought about them. And Wangu, too. Keep them here. Kick return specialist and RB4. Love them. Love them. So then what's missing? The wide receivers, you got Garrett Wilson, A.D. Mitchell. I think A.D. Mitchell's going to continue. That's what I think. He's going to continue to settle in the whole thing. Mechie, I'm hoping, is the slot guy. Bring in a first-round wide receiver, and we are stacked. Use the 4th round for another, a tight end 3 kind of a guy. Mason Taylor out front. I'm with it. Tom Stokes, Ryder and Talons Pa says, Garrett, Carnell Tate, Mitchell, and Mechie. Love it, dude. And then you got, then the guys like Arian Smith, Isaiah Williams, then they're where they're supposed to be. Arian Smith can come in every now and then if they do keep him, and he can be that speed guy, taking off the top of the defense. You don't have to depend on him as like a regular every down guy, as part. No, he's just a role player. That's where those guys are supposed to be. We've been depending on those guys. Dude, 2 years ago, think about this. Aaron Rodgers, we go out and we sign Aaron Rodgers. We trade for Aaron Rodgers. That year, we bring in old man Cobb for him. We bring in Lazard for him. So great. There's comfortable, relationship there. But Garrett Wilson. So you got Garrett Wilson, Cobb, and Alan Lazard. And then Joe Douglas and Saleh, in their ultimate wisdom, kept 2 rookie undrafted free agent wide receivers to round out that room. That to me is an absolute atrocity as far as football goes. You want to keep one around? And don't forget, there was a third undrafted free agent in Irv Charles, who was in his second year. So we had 3 first or second year undrafted free agent wide receivers rounding out our wide receiver room when we were going all in with Aaron Rodgers. Fucking bullshit. What we need to do is what Muji is doing now. Garrett Wilson, A.D. Mitchell, Mechie, Arian Smith over on the side, and go draft a legit wide receiver in the first round or early second next year. Let's do that. Yeah, right, Chris? That's what I'm saying. Like the people that come out, it's the same type of people that are bitching about the fact that the Jets won a couple games utilizing special teams. We were just talking about it in the Beanbagger Discord. Do you realize that the Jets, what they're doing right now with the special teams, they're building one of the best special teams units in NFL history. Right now in DVOA, we are 4th all time. That's what's going on right now. Folk, McNamara, and Wangu, Williams, and the rest, Stiggers. Like, dude, they are lights out. Chris Banjo, come on. Let's see what Boros girl. Now she's talking to Rusty Spooner, but let's see what she says. Now that our wide receiver room isn't JUCO level, right? And with a deep wide receiver draft, can get a guy with our first, second round pick who will pair with Garrett Wilson perfectly. That's what I'm trying to say. I love it. New York Sports MC says, call me crazy, Green Bean, but I would rather stick and pick. If the quarterback isn't there, let's draft 2 Ohio State defenders. Look, you're not alone in that thinking. I just got to say, I think it scares me a little bit to use 2 first-round picks on defense. Because that's what, like, the fear, the Jets have always done that. Like, even though Joe Douglas did a good job of bringing in offensive talent in the first round, right? Guard, quarterback, wide receivers. He's done all that. But right now, where we are, you get rid of, you make trades and you do all this stuff and you're identifying who's a keeper and who's not and all that. It is my belief that the league is offensive. You have to make sure that your offense is intact and lethal before you really go nuts with the defense. Now, we have 4 premium picks. You want to use 1 or maybe 2 of them on defense, that's fine. But half of them at least have to be offense. And I would prefer, like, let's say they do this, because the early going of the second round is a sweet spot for wide receivers. Look at the past 15 years or so of wide receivers in the second round. You'll see it. It's a weird sweet spot that has developed. So if you want to do that, George Pickens being one most recently that stands out. So if you want to do that and like kind of wait till there to get your wide receiver, I'm okay with that. The last couple of years, we've seen runs at the end of the first round on wide receiver. And I just don't want to see us get left holding our junk in the cold. You know what I mean? Standing on the corner of New York City in early February with your junk in your hand. Hey, what happened? I thought the bus was coming. No, I don't want to do that. See, Adirondack Fly Guy says, on the other hand, in all honesty, G-Dubs is a mid wide receiver 1 or a top tier wide receiver 2. This is where it gets, these are semantics to me. Like, truth be told, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, right, with your opinion. Another stud wide would be great. The draft doesn't work out. Right. So, but here's the thing. Garrett Wilson, imagine Garrett Wilson, everything we know about him. Imagine if he was playing with Mahomes. Imagine if he was playing with Justin Herbert or Stafford. Imagine it. And imagine not only that he's playing with Mahomes, but that he's in his 4th year with Mahomes. Garrett Wilson has figured out a way to be the first Jets wide receiver to start his career with 3,000-yard seasons while playing with 10 different quarterbacks. How he's done that, I don't even know. I don't even get it. I don't know how the maths. I really don't. So you gotta mid 1, high level 2. I mean, I don't know what that all means. I think Garrett Wilson is an elite wide receiver. That's what I think. I think he's an elite wide receiver. And if he was on a team with a quarterback that was settled and top tier, like you see Sam Darnold last year in Minnesota, or even this year, right? Like the way Sam Darnold is playing right now. Last year he had Justin Jefferson and what's his name? Oh man, the other kid with the A. Addison. Imagine if just take out Addison, put in Garrett Wilson. Take out Jefferson. Jefferson, I do believe, is better than Garrett. Well, Jefferson's just something else. But you put Garrett Wilson in there, as much as he gets open and the way that he can lose people with the ball in his hands. Dude, he's shifty fella. I think he would be a 1,500-yard wide receiver with 10-plus touchdowns every year. He's pulled off what he's pulled off with hot garbage. Throwing the ball to him. Swamp Ranger checking in. Shout out to the O-line coach. What's his name? I don't even know his name. I forgot. Let's see what his name is. Let's shout him out. Steve Hayden. Steve Hayden, everybody. See what he looks like, this guy. Look at Keith Carter. He looks like Ryan. Steve Hayden. I like him. Dude, even Max Mitchell, Swamp Ranger, Max Mitchell, who many of us, Tigo way out front. Tigo was a Max Mitchell homer. But many of us liked Max Mitchell as a prospect. A lot. Thought he needed a year. He had to put on some weight, put on some NFL strength and a strength and conditioning program. But he played early in his rookie year. Remember that? He he got thrown in because of all the injuries and shit. And he played well. And over the last couple years, he's regressed. And then this year, he's all of a sudden under Steve Hayden and Engstrand running the offense and offensive line. He's played tight end, like he's been the 6th man for us. And he's played swing tackle for us, right and left side. Like the value of a really competent swing tackle is high. And we have been missing that for a long time. The last time we really kind of tried and almost had somebody was Chuma Edoga. But thank you. I agree with you, Swamp Ranger. Yeah, man. Jets Chaos is in the house. What's up with him? Sawyer. I love Chaos. I want to proclaim my deep love and affection for Jeremy Jets Chaos right now in front of everybody. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that, Jets Chaos? Oh, man. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you'd be so kind, we got almost 200 in here, just under. We got only 90 milk thumbs squozing. Let's get the milk thumbs going. Come on. Hit that like button if you love Garrett Wilson. Let's go. Cadoza's late. Cadoza, you're never late. There's no such thing as you being late. So Joe Grana likes Brazil. I like Brazil. Again, surface, I haven't done a deep dive and watched actual, game film and everything. I'm looking at highlights and reading stuff at this point. But I like him too, and I like his measurables. I got to just see what's going on. But I like him too. I don't think Garrett Wilson's playing anymore this season. He can't come back this week. I think it's, next week? I don't think it's the Dolphins game. I think it's in 2 more weeks he can come back. But I don't know if we see him anymore. What do you guys think? You think we see Garrett Wilson anymore? I don't think we do. I don't know. Let me see. Let me catch up here. Spatchcock those milk thumbs. Right on, man. Oh, that's funny. So I want to show you guys something. We got a new sponsor for this video, and I'm actually excited about it because I've looked into this company. I almost pulled the trigger numerous times. I'm going to show you right here. This is the new sponsor. You know what that is? Look at that. This is Ridge Wallet. Ridge Wallet, everybody. Now, it is the holiday season. You're looking at gifts, and a lot of times it's an opportunity to buy yourself gifts. That's what I look at it as. Now I'm going to talk about the wallet that I had. See, what I did, I for a long time, I had that big bulky ass wallet in my back pocket. And what I tried this last year, I tried to do the wallet on the phone, so it's all together. But the phone's flappy and it's big and bulky, and I really didn't like it. My wife loves it. I can't do it. And I need a man's wallet. I need something sleek. I need it. And I'm so excited, genuinely, to have this. You can't read it, but it says, here it is, Ridge Wallet. I love this thing. I'm telling you, man, look at how thin it is in my pocket. It's strong. What I like most about it, in addition to how sleek it is, 2 things. One is the stability of it. I love how strong it is. This is titanium. Titanium. They use all kinds of different materials. You get your choice. This one is titanium because I'm a man, damn it. And I love to be able to choose something like that. But the other thing I like is the RFID protection. You put your cards in here, they are protected. There is no threat of RFID baloney. This is the Ridge Wallet 2.0, everybody. 10% lighter, AirTag attachments. And I'm going to tell you this. I put the link in the description to make it easy, and it's going to have the promo code GreenBean on there. They're giving you, dude, listen to this, up to 47% off. Made with premium materials, aluminum, titanium, carbon fiber. Holds up to 12 cards. 50 plus colors and styles to choose from. Gifts, dude. People are going to love it. Any man that you buy this for, I know, maybe women. I know the women in my life, maybe not. But I know men. Every man that I know is going to love this thing. It has a built-for-life warranty. Even if you lose it, they got you covered. Ridge Wallet is dude, I'm telling you, it's changing everything for me. So, look at how thin it is in my pocket. I absolutely love it. And the thing is, guys, it's not just wallets. They have the key, the key thing. It looks like a Swiss Army knife. It's amazing. They have the battery packs. Go to ridge.com. Shop all you want, up to 47% off with their biggest sale in their history. And then they're going to ask you how you heard about them. That's what they're going to ask you. with over 100,000 5-star reviews, what you're going to do is you're going to say, I heard about you from Green Bean. Green Bean told me to come here. And that's how they know that I sent you. That's how they did it. So anyway, I'm genuinely excited about Ridge Wallet. Again, like I've told you guys, I never take sponsors that I don't actually like. I look at the products. I look at the platforms. I look at this stuff. I have turned down so many vacuum cleaners and all kinds of shit. I've turned down. So I'm like, it's just, I don't like the product. I'm not going to do it. Ridge Wallet, I'm genuinely excited about. Dude, key cases, suitcases, power banks, all kinds of stuff. Go to ridg.com and check out their selection of amazing products, including out front, the titanium wallet, and tell them Green Bean sent you. Get up to 47% off. How amazing is that? Thank you to Ridge Wallet for hanging out with us today. Amazing. I'm excited about this one. I really am. I love it. I love my little Ridge Wallet. All right, guys. Let me get into your comments and see what's going on. So we're talking about Garrett Wilson today. We've bled into some offensive line talk with our Jets offensive line coach, Steve Hayden. We got to remember his name. Sean says, I have the ripoff of Ridge Wallet. Yeah, you got to get the real. Well, look, it's the time to do it. 47% off. Geesh, that's half off where I come from. You know what I mean? That's 50% where I come from, man. So cat hates fish. My cat hates fish. I like what you did there. Says, I hope I'm wrong about AG. I just don't see it. Now, let me ask you this. See, this is the thing. I want to talk to you about this. Now, this season has been crazy with Aaron Glenn because let's go through the history briefly. The Jets fire the whole regime and everything. And we go on this coaching search. We've learned that the Jets' number one choice was Vrabel. Okay, makes perfect sense to me. He's got experience in the whole thing, and that was my number one and everything. But you get this guy, Aaron Glenn, and he's a Jet, right? He started here in his career. He was on a 1-15 team, was here for the turnaround, went to the AFC Championship game and all that. Retires, comes back into to be a coach, and he starts with the Jets again as a scout. So then he leaves here and he goes to the Sean Payton-led Saints. So he was here for the turnaround. He goes to the Saints and learns under the coach that turned the Saints around. Now, I'll point out that before Sean Payton, the Saints were known as the Aints, right? For decades. They were garbage. Their fans would famously wear the bags on their heads and the garbage bags on their heads and all that kind of stuff. They were known as the Aints. Since Sean Payton left, they've sucked. And now Sean Payton's in Denver, and what's going on over there? So Aaron Glenn starts here, retires, comes back here. He's a scout for us for a couple years, goes and learns under Sean Payton, the guy who turned around one of the perpetually worst teams in the NFL forever. He learns under him. He leaves there and he goes with Dan Campbell, and he's part of the regime that turns around another perpetually piss-poor organization, the Detroit Lions. So he's around for 3 very specific turnarounds. So he's got that skill set is unique. He didn't just go and coach for under Shanahan and just, everything was great, for the whole time. And, he's on winning teams. He was part of like a very specific type of, period for a specific type of organization, losers. And he comes here, and what does he say in his press conference? He says, he brings up the AFC Championship game in Denver, and he says, I want that one back, which shows you he's carrying around some of the same Jets pain that we are. So that's all that. He's got a very specific skill set. Now, for whatever reason, Jets fans turned on Aaron Glenn quicker than we've turned on any other coach in history. I'm telling you. I was here when they got rid of, like, I was a Jets fan. Not that I remember it, but I remember Walt Michaels going away and Joe Walton coming. I remember Joe Must Go in the stadium when we fired him and we hired Bruce Coslett. I remember when they fired Bruce Coslett and kept his whole regime and promoted Pete Carroll. I remember when they fired Pete Carroll and went and got Rich Kotite. I remember when Kotite resigned and they went out and got Bill Parcells. I remember when Bill Parcells left and Belichick and that whole thing. And we promote Al Groh, and then Al Groh gets us to 9-7. And then he leaves to coach UVA. And then Herm Edwards, and then we trade Herm Edwards to the Chiefs. Crazy stuff. Herm Edwards is replaced by Mangini, who's fired after 3 years. We get Rex in here. Rex, Idzik, Tannenbaum, all that baloney. Bowles, McCagnon, all these guys. Adam Gase. We gave Adam Gase more rope than we gave Aaron Glenn. And during it, when it was happening, although I did share some of my concerns and difficulties that I saw them having while it was happening in real time, you guys know I was out front saying, what are we doing? We're asking for this guy to be fired. We're talking about not trusting him and Muji with the first pick. Like, it's game 5, game 6, and we're literally talking about not trusting these guys to pick a draft pick in 2020. Like, we went nuts. Now that has to come out of all the hype and hoopla of the Aaron Rodgers era, right? Has to, because that damn near killed me as a fan. Like, I contemplated not doing this anymore. I really did. I'm like, dude, I don't know how much more I can take of this shit. Like, all the time that we put into this and all, I'm like, why? I did a real soul search after the Aaron. So it killed me. I know it was killing, many of you. But we were out. It was weird. Like, we turned on him so fast. Now, Aaron Glenn in the media. We talk about the Aaron Glenn in the media. Now, again, I was out front saying, now, do I particularly like the way he's handled? Not necessarily, but I don't have the issue with it. We were making such a big issue with it. But I told you guys exactly what was happening. And now you're starting to see people talking about it. I told you then. A great leader, somebody who's a real leader, will stand out in front of his team and weather the onslaught of critiques and all that kind of shit and support everybody publicly. Behind closed doors, different story. But out front, he takes the bullets. And that's what he was doing. He was making it all about his own shit. He with his comments, and I support Justin Fields and blah, 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 all the stuff. It's a tactic. It's a technique that I have employed being the executive director for my rehabs and everything, having to deal with the board. I would go to board meetings and I would defend my staff. And then when I went to my staff, I would have meetings and rip their fucking heads off. But out front, I defended them. Right? That's what you got to do. And that's what Aaron Glenn was doing. So that I like. The other thing is this. My cat hates fish. One of the things that I have not seen here forever was if a player had a name or he had a contract or whatever, it seemed like they were never held accountable. I hated it. We have been bitching about it on this channel, Talking Jets. I'm not alone, but I'm definitely somebody who was bitching about it. I want accountability. Just because you signed a 4-year, $20 million a year contract, I don't give a shit. If you're not playing well, you got to be benched. This is the first coach that we saw do that in forever. The only players Robert Saleh ever benched, ever, there were 2. Denzel Mims, Malachi Corley. That's it. If you guys can think of another one, please let me know. Maybe I'm forgetting somebody. But Aaron Glenn benched 2 starters, one of whom just got a big contract extension in Jamien Sherwood. Jamien Sherwood and Quincy Williams were both benched. came out of that and had their best games of the season as a result of that. And remember, the first 5, 6 weeks, 7 weeks of the season, we couldn't tackle. Remember that? Not to say there aren't still some missteps. We got some improving to do, but it was like we night and day. He benched guys, and all of a sudden the team started to remember how to tackle. And then Jermaine Johnson came back. Then we traded for Brownlee, and he came in and he had our first turnover in the whole year. Remember? So Aaron Glenn is doing the stuff that's hard to do. Number one, taking the bullets for his team. Defending everybody, doesn't give a shit what the media says, all that kind of stuff. He's not having it. He can handle his team how he handles it. That's fine. But out front, he takes the bullets. I like that. And I respect that. And I think it's actually pivotal. It's something that needs to happen. You can't have a coach that blames the players. You can't have leaders that blame, and you're seeing it with Aaron Rodgers now. Not that he's a coach, but he's doing the same shit in Pittsburgh that he did here, which is blame others for shit that's happening. A great leader doesn't do that. A great leader goes out there and says, it's my fucking fault. So Aaron Glenn is benching players. There's accountability. He's cutting guys. That, like, obviously the big one is Xavier Gibson. Now, we can say, well, we said all year he shouldn't even been on the team. Fair point. But you don't know that. And like he said, in training camp, we didn't see him in the preseason. Training camp, he's catching everything. So they had to see him. They had to see him with their own eyes. He went out there. His fumble cost us the game in week 1 against the Steelers. Gone. This is all new. We don't see this stuff before. Again, benching players, cutting players, and then they did the biggest thing of all, which was they took 2 of our biggest names, our big superstar names, and they traded them. Why is that good? Just to trade people? No. And this is Muji and Glenn, because I don't think Muj is on an island over there. I think if Glenn disagrees, I think Glenn's the boss. That's what I think. I could be wrong on that, but they traded 2 guys that were the face of our defense, face of the organization, right? You're looking at Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams, right? That's the face of our organization. And the Aaron Rodgers when he was here, of course, and all that. But you trade them, the value that they got back, exceptional. But here's the bigger deal. If you have somebody that's in that role, that they're going to be the face of the organization, and all they do is their job, like, it's great that they can do their job at a high level. That's great. Quinnen was top 5 DT, and Sauce is a top 5 cornerback. That's all great. But that's all they did. That's where their impact ended. You can't have that on a team like this. You need leaders. And they saw that the team is filled with quitting. It's okay to quit. And that their leaders, the guys that they would look to from a player perspective, that are in the position to kind of rally the troops and be the face, that they don't do that. They got rid of them, and they sent that message through the organization, which is no one is above the law, so to speak. It's going to take time, man. It's going to take, like, the Jets aren't an easy fix. Like we like to say, oh, we're a quarterback away. Maybe. I bought into that when we first got Aaron Rodgers. Like, sure, because our quarterback play was so bad and our defense was so good and all this kind of shit. That you can buy that. But the truth is, it's much, much deeper than that. The Jets as an organization are systemically problematic. And the number one issue is that it's okay to quit here. It's okay when the shit gets hard. It's okay to pack it in and wait till next week. The losing mentality was okay. It was accepted. And Aaron Glenn had to face that head on. And in year 1,
He's already flipping that with a bunch of rookies and no names. We're playing better than we were with all the stars. And Michael Carter II's another one. Granted, he was never at the level of Sauce or Quinnen, but make no mistake, every Jets fan had Michael Carter as one of the assets of this defense. No doubt. From week one, he looked like he wasn't the same player. So they flipped him. And you got John Mechie, and you made a 7th-round pick into a 6th-round pick. Great. And you got rid of the contract. That was the main thing with Michael Carter, was getting rid of that contract. And they did. You see Aaron Glenn, the way that, like, look, there was those clips this week. You see about, when Isaiah Williams with the long return, that whole thing, you got to effing believe. There's all that. And how the team has responded to that. And then there was the first down flag, right? When he threw the challenge flag. Nobody thought it was a first down, but he did. And he got it right. And his interaction, the way that he was handling the refs in that situation, it's refreshing, man. Now, I can't predict the future, but these are all things that I have been craving. The Jets, we are weak. We are soft forever. Aaron Glenn is bringing in an entirely different mentality. You're going to play hard and you're going to do what we need to do. We want you to do, or you're gone. And I don't give a shit what your name is or how much money you make. That is a big, big difference. And so that's why, dude, I'm firmly on Team Glenn. I'm firm. And you guys know I wasn't one of the people who wanted him to be the hire. Not because I didn't like Aaron Glenn, but because I didn't want another rookie defensive coach. Because I knew if you do that, a rookie defensive coach for the New York Jets, especially when you're getting rid of Aaron Rodgers and all that you just know we're going to have to learn. We're going to watch him learn on the job, which is frustrating. But you can't expect anything else. Somebody threw at me last week, well, look at what Ben Johnson did in Chicago. Why can't we? Well, it's significantly different. Number one, he's an offensive coach, so there's that. But number two, he showed up there. They had a quarterback, a young top overall pick quarterback going into year 2. They had wide receivers 1 and 2 in the house. They had tight end 1 in the house. The running game is strong in the house. It was all there. So what did Ben Johnson do? He came in, he said, okay, I gotta fix this offensive line. That was their focus. They went and got Loveland. They bolstered the tight end room. And they're off and running. It's a different deal. We're tearing it down. They had their quarterback already. You know what I mean, Jelly Beans? E-Boogie. We missed you in the beanbagger thing, E-Boogie. It's okay. You're allowed not to come, bud. But I missed you, nonetheless. He says, AG has balls. Here we go.
That takes balls. Aaron Glenn's got balls.
Aaron Glenn's got balls. I love it. I love it. Dante says he technically benched Zach. Who's Zach? Zach Wilson? Salah? He didn't technically bench Zach, dude. I guess technically. If you were benching Zach Wilson, you don't wait until we're 12 games into the season and he's a complete pile of mush when you bench him. And then he botched that because you bench him and you put Tim Boyle in. And he's so bad that you want to go back to Zach. Remember that? And Zach didn't want to play. Zach said, fuck you. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of this team. I'm sick of the fans. Everybody's calling my mother, telling her she should have aborted me. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be here anymore. Dude, they completely botched that. I'll tell you this. Remember when Zach got hurt and Mike White came in and played well? The team, think about this. You want to talk about a fractured team under a head coach. They went to Minnesota the next week. Mike White plays really well. He has that Hall of Fame game, right? The entire offense was wearing Mike effing White t-shirts. They had Mike effing White t-shirts made. Zach is still here. And they had Mike effing White t-shirts made. Why? Because the offense couldn't stand Zach Wilson. He sucked. And he was not a leader at all. You saw it, man. The offensive line didn't even protect. Like when he would get beat up, the offensive line wasn't even standing up for him. That's like, I hated it. And I don't give a shit how bad he plays. I still think they should. I thought it was complete baloney. But dude, they didn't. They didn't stand up for him. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. So think about that. What kind of a head you think Aaron Glenn, like if Justin Fields is down, we put Tyrod. Do you think Aaron Glenn would allow the offense to make t-shirts for the other quarterback after one game and wear those? Like, what message? Dude, the team was completely fractured and Saleh had no balls. He couldn't stand up in front of those men and say, unacceptable, man. We can't do that. Hold on. Hold on. Sorry. Oh, okay. I can't keep. All right. So it's a little different. I hear you. And look, in Saleh's defense, Joe Douglas didn't exactly take it seriously. When Aaron Rodgers went down, he should have been on the foot. We should have had Carson Wentz in here, or even if you were going to get Simeon, he should have been here that week. He waited 6 weeks to get a quarterback? Fucking bullshit, man. The whole thing. Like the Jets had no plan B for Aaron Rodgers. When he went down, they didn't know what to do. They were stuck with Nathaniel Hackett, oh, yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't even know Breece Hall can catch. E-Boogie says, that's my coach. Right on, man. Me too. I'm in. I'm on Team Aaron Glenn. I really am. And that's not to say I think he's going to be perfect or do everything right, but the way that he is managing this team, and I know people go moral victories. That's like the tagline or whatever now. Moral victory. I'm not saying moral victories, but it is vitally important that the team is playing 4 quarters of football. And they're coming. Dude, one of the traits of the last 4 years of the New York Jets football is that what? We start slow. And we like to say it with that we were a second half team. That's complete bullshit. The fact that they show up to a game and they're not playing intense football from the first snap, that is garbage. That means the team is unprepared. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen that this year. They played the same way first drive as they do the last drive. It's totally different, man. E-Boogie says, I'm 1,000% right. Yeah, screw this 100% shit. 1,000%, baby. I like it. Thanks, E-Boogie. You're the man. Yeah. And look, like I said, I don't know. There's going to be things. There's going to be things that happen that I don't like or that suck or big mistake. Of course. He's learning on the job, guys. And he's learning in probably the most intense environment in the NFL. Again, week 3, Jets fans were ready to fire him. Unbelievable to me. Danger Zone checking in with his 3-month membership super chat. Thank you, Dano. I appreciate the support. We missed you in the Beanbagger Discord this Wednesday night as well. Again, no pressure. Just saying your absence was noticed. We love you. Danger Zone says, I aspire to look as spiffy as Green Bean tonight. Still doing those ice baths. Glenn is ours. Like it or not. And I like it. There you go. You know what? To be honest with you, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you. I haven't done the ice baths in a minute. I have it set up. I got to get back in there. I haven't done the sauna either in a minute, and it bothers me. I'm not doing my self-care properly right now. Even my gym stuff has been lighter. I've only been going once or twice a week. Like working out, it sucks. Like I got to get, you know what, Dano, you just brought it to the forefront. I got to do better. I got to do better. Ice baths, sauna, and working out. I got to do it. But thanks for talking about the spiff. The old spifferoon, you know? So Glenn has 3 wins. Yeah, what is that point, Joe? What is that point? We're talking about a guy. See, this is the argument, though, but like with all due respect, Joe, this is the argument to me that oversimplifies what we're really looking at here and why. Like, it's not our fault as fans, but this is the general mentality. It's like you look at things from a simple lens. It's like looking at the box score, right? And he goes, well, look, he had 5 yards of carry, so he's good. He had 300 yards, so he had a great game. Like, it's not that simple. There is a story. There's narrative. There are details that simplified comments like that. And I'm not going out. I'm just saying, because this is something I hear all the time, like that thing. You are what your record says you are. Sure. But we're not including what really had to happen here. Like I talked about it on my podcast this week. It was week 2. Week 2, Aaron Glenn showed up to the Buffalo game. The Jets we played really hard week 1. We should have won that game. Xavier Gibson's fumble and all that shit. And they needed a 60-yard field goal after a 15-yard miracle catch where the ball just fucking fell on DK Metcalf as he was laying on the ground. They needed those 2 plays. A miracle catch to get them into field goal range, which was 60 yards to beat us. Right? We should have won that game. Okay, fine. But we go into the Buffalo game. Aaron Glenn thinks he's showing up with a team that's ready to play. Buffalo punched him in the face in the first quarter, and the whole team quit. And Aaron Glenn realized then, holy shit, why aren't these guys responding? I'm screaming, I'm yelling, I'm running around, I'm changing this, I'm doing all this stuff, and they're just, whoa. And Aaron Glenn said it from the podium. I don't remember if it was that game or maybe in the next week. He said, I have to address something here. The way that he said it, well, I have to paraphrase, but overall, the way he said it was this. This team, we have to shake the mentality that when something bad happens, they all say, oh no, here we go again. You don't undo that in a week. And that's where he had to cut guys, he had to bench guys, he had to fucking trade guys. He had to get Michael Carter, Sauce Gardner, Quinn Williams. You got to go. Quinn Williams was phoning it in. You see the way he's playing in Dallas. He's reinvigorated. He looks great. He looks like an animal. He looks unblockable. He didn't look like that the last 2 years for us. He was good. Like Quinnen is a good player, so he's always going to be good. But he wasn't this. He was a completely different. And that's the thing. When you got a player that's as important and as a big of a name as Quinnen Williams, and he's kind of phoning it in, that sends ripples through the team. He had to get him out of here. Sauce Gardner, I don't think they were actively looking to trade him. But look, Sauce said it after week 1, dude. They were asking him about the defense, and he said, well, look, I was asked to cover DK Metcalf, and he was covered. He only had 2 catches or whatever. That was kind of what he said. So what is that message? Like, and I love Sauce, and I'm not throwing stones or anything, but like when you have a guy like Sauce Gardner or Quinn, when you have your leaders, they're supposed to lead. They have to do more. Like, you want the big name, you want the fucking big contract, you want all that stuff. It comes with more than just playing your position. Sorry. That's what leaders are. It's your responsibility. It's fair, not fair. I don't give a shit. That's what it is. That's what leaders are. The great players, the guys that when other players talk about him, they go, wow, that guy was X, Y. Those are the guys that had an impact. They didn't just do their job. They did more. And that's what leaders, that's what you need. And when you have all your money going into these guys and they're kind of phoning it in or they're just doing their job, not good enough. I'll take the 3 first-round picks and the 2 seconds. Thank you very much. And A.D. Mitchell. That's what we'll do instead. So Aaron Glenn and Muji, they got to do all that. There's a lot of work to do here, man. And we can't go about this thinking that it's not that much work. We're not going to fix this team going, oh, we just got to draft a quarterback. Like, think about this. You want to just fucking lose out. You want to just lose every game. And the idea is that we're going to have the top overall pick, take Fernando Mendoza, and then we're going to be good? Is that real? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm always on Team Tank too, but it's like the idea that we're just going to draft a quarterback and then all of a sudden we're going to be better. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, we have to use this time now to start building this foundation, to start fucking finding out who's a keeper, who quits, who's a puss, who's willing to put in the extra effort when times are tough, who's bloody knuckles. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. It's like, yeah, we only have 3 wins and we're going to end the season as a 5-win team. That's what I think. Which, by the way, would match what we did with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. Crazy, isn't it? Crazy. Like right now, we have 2 less wins with Tyrod Taylor, Justin Fields playing most of the season. No Garrett Wilson, no Sauce Gardner, no Quinnen Williams, no Michael Carter, no CJ Mosley. Like, you know what I mean? Like, think about it. E-Boogie checking back in. If the Jets win this Sunday, is the tank over or still alive? 8-9, baby. Well, the tank, I think I saw a thumbnail from Buffalo Jets fan today. I didn't get to watch the video, but I saw the thumbnail. And it said the Jets are just too good to be a 2-15 team. They're better than that. And I have to agree. I don't think they're a 10-win team, but I think, like, when you look at the Titans and you look at the Saints, like, they're just worse. They're worse. So the idea that we're going to be bad enough to beat them in the sweepstakes for the number 1 overall pick, it does seem kind of unrealistic. You know what I mean? It just does. Like, we're not great, but we're better than, I mean, honestly, I think we're better than 3 wins. I think we should have won week 1. That would be 4. And I think we should have beat, a couple other teams in there. Like the Miami game, I thought we should have won. The Tampa game, if we could have just had one defensive stand at the end. But, it is what it is. But I'm just saying, I think we should have one or two more victories. So think about it. Right now, if we were a 5-win team with 5 games left, it's not that unrealistic to think 8, 9 wins, I mean, that's all fantasy camp. I get it, but you know what I mean. Righty Boogie. So I don't know if the tank is over per se. It just is what it is. Jelly beans. James Eubanks checking in. Thanks, E-Boogie. You're the man. For years, the Jets lost professionalism on and off the field. All talent, no development, no energy. AG feels like the first change in a while. Right. Dude, that's a fucking great point. Because let's be real, for Joe Douglas did assemble a very talented team. He did. Now, there were warts on it. Like whatever he was doing with the offensive line, like it's crazy because he put more resources and energy and effort into the offensive line than any GM in the past 20 years. Really. He was like first round picks and you know what I mean? Like he was constantly putting, but it didn't work. It didn't work out. But the team, that's why Woody fired Saleh in the middle of the season or early season. He said, this is the best team we've had in forever. And he was right. Like the talent was here. The problem is we had no development, no accountability. Look at our coaching staff, man. There are numerous coaches that were on our team last year that aren't even coaching. Guys like our offensive coordinator is the wide receivers coach in New England. Like all these guys, like Nathaniel Hackett is like some assistant. The quarterback coach, he's not even a position coach. Calabrese, like the team of coaches that we had assembled was garbage, specifically on the offensive side of the ball. Can you point to one offensive player that we developed? I can't. Not one. As a matter of fact, we talked about it. Players were regressing. How is it that Dwayne Brown comes here? He's a perennial fucking Pro Bowl, and he comes here. He has the worst years of his career. Laken Tomlinson went to the Pro Bowl. He comes here, and he's a flop. He's the worst offensive lineman. Like, how can that be? Everybody came here and regressed. All talent, no development, no energy, no accountability. AG, less talent, more accountability, more energy, more passion. The accountability is key, man. James, that's a great comment, man. Danger Zone says, can you bring back Accordion fella? Yeah, he's the Thursday thick of it. I'll play the Thursday thick of it intro on the way out, so you can hear the accordion guy. He's great. I reached out to him when early on I asked if I could use it. He said, yeah. But I never heard from him again. I wanted to connect with him, but didn't happen. We'll play it on the way out. Joe says, I'm Team Glenn Green, but you are? Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't know. And again, like I said, I was careful. I didn't want to feel like I was attacking you. I was just using the words. You know what I mean, Joe? And if I came across that way, I apologize. But it's like, I get into a lot of conversations. I get a lot of DMs. I get attacked a lot too, and I have for years. Like I just say something and people, I get a lot of DMs like, oh, you're this and you don't know. And I've had people say the worst things to me, man. Like my kids should be embarrassed. My wife should be embarrassed to raise kids with me, all because of my Jets takes. Like this is the shit that happens. We don't talk to you guys about that a lot. But and me particularly, I don't know if Ryan or Matt or whoever gets the same kind of stuff. The same kind, I don't know if they get the same shit. I know it has happened, but I get some nasty motherfuckers out there, man. It's crazy. So Saleh taught winning by not losing, not winning. Yeah. Saleh was a pussy, dude. That's the truth of it. And again, I've said this and I maintain this. I don't know. Like, he's probably going to get another head coaching job before this is all done. And I don't know if he, will take the same tack. He could have learned, like, look at Bowles. Bowles was very, like, he had 3 offensive coordinators in 4 years when he was here. Bowles was very all over the place too, very softish. And look at how he looks good. He's a good coach. Saleh's probably going to do the same thing because they learn a lot, but he'll probably, if Saleh gets another head coaching job, I would venture to guess that he will probably hold guys more accountable in the future. Like, when you get removed and you're able to look back with some clarity, some hindsight, clarity, and you go, yeah, I probably should have benched that guy. That guy, I gave him way too much rope. You know what I mean? Dom C checking in. There he is. The great Dom C. Dom C, a member of the Professional Sports Writers. Official, dude. Dom C, we've been saying it for years. Dom C's the real deal. Not that I agree with him all the time. But anyway, let's see what he's saying. Oh, look at this. I disagree. Look at this. Let's see what he's talking about. 2 of the 3 wins were a result of fluky special teams plays that played to our advantage. I love that special teams is good, but expecting big plays to win games is a house of cards. I don't know, Dom. I don't even know where to begin with that. I don't even know where to begin. Fluky special teams plays. Like, okay. So with that argument, you could say that interceptions and shit are fluky as well. So the one special teams play that you're talking about happened in Atlanta against Atlanta. So, right. So we got a fumble. The Jets have been the lucky recipient of 2 turnovers all year. So we have been playing at a detriment. Again, like, if you're going to count this, if we're going to do this, you got to count both sides. Was the loss against Pittsburgh with the fluky fumble by Xavier Gibson that flipped the fucking game and gave them, that quick touchdown, because we lost the ball in I think it was our red zone. So they just scored. They kick it off to us. We fumble. They're in our red zone. They score again, which flipped it. We were still able to, without special teams, it was our offense that was able to do it, flip the field and still get ahead of them again. Flip the score. Does that not count? We lost because of a fluky special teams play. Like, what is this? The game of football is everything it entails everything. Offense, defense, special teams, field goals, punts, end arounds. Like, everything is the game of football. We have lost. How about the game when Isaiah Williams fumbled the kicker? I think that what game was that? It was like game week 4 or 5 when we cut Isaiah Williams and then brought him back. Remember? We lost that game because our team fumbled on special teams. So why don't you count? Do you count those as, you don't count those as losses? You know what I mean? Like, don't forget, the team scored 27 points. One of those scores was built on a special teams turnover. And like I said, we've only had 2 turnovers all fucking year. Like, what kind of argument is that? What kind of argument is that? That the one fumble that the Jets got and turned into points is now fluky? It's fucking retarded. Like, Dom, I don't know. This is what I call, this is an argument that is reaching for misery. And it's not like the Jets special teams are only that game was fluke. The Jets have been consistently dominant on special teams. We have built the special teams unit into an asset, which, by the way, is important. Guys like Dom C likes to disregard special teams, which is fine. It's his tact. I don't think that way. I think special teams is a weapon. I think using resources to get a premium return, and when you find one, you keep them, rather than the Mike McCagnon method, which is when you have somebody, you got a field goal kicker, let him go, get another one. You got a return guy, it's okay, let him go, get another one. I don't think like that. I think they're assets. If you can have a return guy that's a threat to run it back every single time, or at minimum, kick returns, he's getting, he's among the highest average, and punt returns, he's getting 10 to 15 yards every time. Like, that is an asset. And that's something you build into your team. Again, dude, think about how weak of an argument this is. The 2 times that the Jets got the benefit, we discount those, when all year we're losing games because of shit like that, and we don't remove the value of that on the negative side. It's part of the game. Fucking 1 turnover all year that turned into points. Jesus. And we want to discount it right away. I can't even take it, Dom. You disappoint me, sir. It's crazy. Everybody, boo Dom C, everybody. What's a good emoji to boo? How do we boo Dom with an emoji? Let me see. Thumbs down. I'll give him this one. If you're a stream beaner, you can give him this. Give Dom the middle fingers. There you go, Sean. Boo! Boo Dom C. Here I am congratulating him, bestowing love to my friend, and he comes in here to tell me that the one fumble that the Jets got all year. What's our record? 3-9. We're 12 games into the season. We finally got a turnover that led to points, and the first thing we want to do is call it fluky, and it doesn't matter. Boo! Boo, Dom C. Keep reaching for reasons to. I mean, we got a million reasons why we're losing and or winning games. You know what I mean? Fuck, man. We got 1 fumble all year and it led to points. And Jets fans, we want to go, oh, it doesn't count. 1 game we had kick returns for touchdowns, and it's fluky. We have a good return game. And it's not, I don't know. I can't keep doing it. It's crazy to me. Paris checks in. I want the Jets to have a top 5 pick. Trying to win meaningless games like the Jets did in 2019 and 20 will not help. I hear you. But it is what it is. Like the other side, don't look, Paris, you've been hanging with me for a long time. I've been on Team Tank at the end of every year for the last 15 years. So please don't misunderstand me. Don't forget to boo Dom, everybody. Keep booing him. Make sure he knows. I'm giving him the Facebook fingers. Get Dom out of here. We're going to ban Dom. Ablab, boo Dom. Boo Dom C. All right. But so I've been on Team Tank for years. So please don't misunderstand what I'm going to say. But the truth is, right now, it's not as simple as the pick. We're doing something else, which is we have a coach in his first year with the Jets who is much maligned. Jets fans, like we've talked about, were ready to stick him in the toilet and flush him week 3. Week 3. So and the media hates him and all this kind of shit. So he's trying to figure out how to get the quit out of the New York Jets and how to develop whatever he can develop and evaluate whatever he can evaluate. We're doing that job as well right now. So they're going to win some games. I don't see them losing to the Saints, man. I don't. As a matter of fact, I think it's a good chance we beat the Dolphins too. You know what I mean? Like I hear you, but here's the other thing. The Jets haven't gotten the first overall pick. Not that that's what you're saying. You're saying top 5 pick. But the Jets haven't gotten the top overall pick in 27 years. It's very unlikely that that's going to, you know what I mean? Like it's so far out of what's real when you got teams like the Titans and the Saints out there. Top 5, I think, is realistic, but we'll see. I just can't get, like this year, I just can't allow myself to get caught up in being unhappy if Aaron Glenn is starting to get his feet under him and guys like A.D. Mitchell and John Mechie are starting to play well. And like we're seeing that we got something, to kind of take into next year. As far as players, because I don't believe like the wins carry over necessarily, like the energy of the win, but the play, knowing about the players and what they can bring, that carries over. Like if we all of a sudden have wide receiver 3 and 4, and like we know that, and we're going to go get wide receiver 2, and now our wide receiver room is stacked. Like, dude, I'm all about it. But if we learn that John Mechie, like, for example, right, we saw this week, he had 3 drops. And look what Aaron Glenn did. He didn't bench him. He kept him out there, kept throwing him the ball, and he had 2 receptions to end the game, which is what you should do. But let's say John Mechie over the next 5 games has 2 and 3 drops every game. Then you start to know maybe we can't build with this guy. We'll let him come into camp next year and compete, but, like you got to know this stuff. So that's the fact that they're doing that shit too. If it ends up being to our benefit, like I think that's got to be factored in as well, man. You know what I mean? So I hear you. I still think the Jets will have the top 5 pick. That's what I think. Because I think we're going to win probably 2, but likely 1. And if you end up at the end of the year as a 4-win team, I think there's a good chance you'll have a top 5 pick. But Paris, I hear you, man. It's frustrating. I've just decided this year, I'm just going to root for the team. When they lose, I don't feel that bad because I'm technically speaking on Team Tank. But if they win, great. I get to be happy. Joe the Jet G says, special team, special player, Dom. Right. Yeah, man. I'm really hoping that they keep and retain Isaiah Williams and Nwangu. Keep them both. Keep them both. Have that part of your game locked in, and people can talk about it all year how fluky it is when we're a solid return game team. Nobody called Devin Hester fluky when he was fucking returning kicks for touchdowns all the time. Nobody called him fluky. Because he did it every week. So it's time that we did it. Nobody called Brad Smith fluky. That was a big part. Guys, that was a big part of the 2009-2010 Jets. Special teams. Ablab. There he is. If you have great special teams, what is that? Return. Hold on a second. Let me see here. Hold on. Did I skip Dante? I'll get right to you, Dante. I'm sorry. I'll get there. If you have great special teams, I don't know what that is. Return and long kicker, giving the opponent bad field position. Yeah, it's a weapon. Right. I don't know why we're trying so hard to make that bad. Like when Will McDonald jumped over and blocked that field goal attempt. Remember that? And all the defense had to do, that was against Tampa. All they had to do was a stop, and they couldn't do it. Remember, Dom and Frankie, both of them were like, nope, too much time on the clock. There was like a minute 45 left. Me and Jeremy were going ballistic, all excited. But that is fluky in a sense that it doesn't happen very often. But if we won that game, is that bad? Like you're going to win games all the time in different ways. Sometimes you're going to get a pick six. Sometimes you're going to have a 60-yard bomb. Sometimes you're going to throw a 60-yard bomb and there's a defensive pass interference, which puts you on the 5-yard line. And then you score. You know what I mean? Like, why do we have to dissect it and look at some things as fluky? Like the offense, like that was one score in the Atlanta game. What about the other 3 touchdowns? You know what I mean? So what? They don't work? They're not important? I don't understand the argument. I really don't. And like Ablab is saying, the Jets have done a good job of developing this special teams unit. And hopefully they can keep it together and using it as a weapon. There's 3 facets to the game: offense, defense, special teams. If your special teams is a weak link, that's like the carpet being pulled under the offense and defense. Like, think about this. How many games, dude? How many games? The Jets have seen this in the playoffs. Remember against the Steelers, Doug Bryan, the Jets offense and defense were playing their asses off, and it was a battle. And Doug Bryan, the field goal kicker, was given 2 opportunities to win it in overtime and missed both. So everything that the offense and defense did was undermined by one fucking guy on special teams, because special teams is that important. It's that important that the entire game, you could have Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and fucking Peyton Manning, and you can have all those guys. And then with 3 seconds on the clock, you got to hope that this guy can put his foot to that ball and kick it 48 yards through those uprights. It all comes down to that. Is it fluky if he makes it? I don't understand. It doesn't compute to me. Dante checking in. Sorry to skip you, buddy. I like Glenn a lot. He seems like the real deal. I think you're 1,000,000,000%. Wow, I went from 100% to 1,000%. I'm up to 1,000,000,000. This is good. I want him to succeed. I want a tell-all book about the Saleh era. Yeah, Joe Beningo should write it. Fucking Saleh was calling him every night crying. Can you imagine? Could you imagine thinking and that's when you know somebody's like not from here, right? Like they're not from here. It takes a time to learn what this area really is. And I'm in Virginia, and I say, you know what I mean? Because I'm from up there and the whole thing. And I've been a Jets fan my whole life and just the whole thing. It takes time to understand the nuance of what that area really is. And Robert Saleh thought it was okay to reach out to Joe Beningo and share his feelings. Now, I can argue that Joe Beningo is kind of a douchebag to put that all out there, right? There's an argument to be said for that. But the truth is Joe Beningo has been a Jets fan for 50 plus years. He's pissed. He's furious. And Robert Saleh is the guy in charge of his misery. And he's calling me. You're calling me complaining and whining and bitching? Like, no way. That's why, like, when Robert Saleh made those comments this year about the Jets stole his joy, fuck you, dude. You were in charge, man. You and JD and Woody, of course. But dude, if you're not man enough to stand up and go, I'm not doing that. I'm not playing that guy. It's my team. I'm the coach. If you don't like it, get rid of me. If you're not a man enough to do that, you can't then turn around and go, well, they made me sad. Stand up for yourself. You're the boss. You're the head coach. You know what I'm saying? These guys. And that's why you have to know when you're bringing somebody in here, it's not the Cardinals, dude. We're not the Seahawks. This is New York, and not just New York. It's the New York Jets. You had better bring your wherewithal and your mental and emotional fortitude to this job. You can't be soft, man. We're going to eat you up. And all we want is a good team. That's all we're asking, Dante, right? And they can't do it. And then they blame us. Wah! The Jets stole my joy. I'm so much happier out here in San Francisco. Good. I wish they got rid of you sooner. You know that, you remember the whole narrative that was going on that Aaron Rodgers is really the GM and really this, and I really fought against that. Like I really did. I fought it. But looking back, like I just think I was probably wrong. Aaron Rodgers was really turning the keys around here. Aaron Rodgers and Woody Johnson, and it's like it's sad. It's bullshit, and it's aggravating. Because we're helpless, and we just sit here and watch this fucking bullshit team for years, and we hope, and we buy tickets, and we buy jerseys, and all, and there's just they're in there being weak and scared and sad. Jamal Adams, oh, there's maybe I was so depressed and shit. Get out of here with that. I don't want to hear that. I never heard Kyle Clifton say he was depressed. I never heard Aaron Glenn say he was depressed when he was here. Now, granted, depression, I'm not minimizing the mental health of people. But, dude, give me a break. It's a sports team. Strap on your testicles and let's go. You know what I mean, Ablab? Jason Edwards checking in. Green Bean, we are more likely to get the number 1 pick in the draft than a pick 6. Dude, that was great. When you brought that up the other night, Jason Edwards said, what's more likely? The Jets get a pick 6 or we get the number 1? Dude, honestly, I couldn't answer the question. What's more likely? Fucking sad. We are actually allergic to turnovers. I forgot what interceptions are. Dude, I don't even know what it is, right? It's like the idea of the Jets defense grabbing a ball out of the air and then run, like you're saying, run it back for a touchdown. I don't even know what that feels like anymore. It just doesn't. Think about it. We play every football game without even hoping that that's going to happen. Every NFL team has that. Every NFL team has those. We don't, which is why I laugh when somebody goes, oh, well, we got a fumble on a special teams play. It's fluky. Fuck out of here with that. What about all the interceptions we're not getting? What about all the fumble recoveries we're not getting? Every team has them in every single game. Every game has interceptions and fumbles, not us. We've had one fumble going into the Atlanta game, and then we had one fumble in the Atlanta game, and all of a sudden it's fluky, and we have to minimize the value of it. Jesus. What can you imagine a pick 6? Which is why I'm glad, like, look, Sauce Gardner, and again, I'm a Sauce Gardner fan. I like Sauce Gardner. Not that he was the guy I wanted drafted. You guys know that. You guys know that wasn't my guy. I was not happy. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can play this for you. If it'll work. Jesus. Where is it? I got to find all my shit. I got something happened. I got everything like, there's Will McDonald. That was funny. I don't know where I put it. I got to find that, but that was, remember in that draft, I wanted so badly. I wanted an edge rusher with our first pick. That was the problem. It was such a deep edge rusher class. When the Jets didn't take an edge rusher at 4, I was so mad. Because up to that point, the Jets had found a reason not to take an edge rusher for like a decade or more. We were always taking interior defensive linemen. And we would call Sheldon Richardson a defensive end. He wasn't. We would call Copels. I guess Copels was kind of an end, but not really. Like, I wanted that edge rusher, man. And when we chose Sauce Gardner, I was pissed. And I liked Sauce as a prospect, make no mistake. But what I was hoping for up top, you guys remember, I was hoping for Kayvon Thibodeau up top. Aiden Hutchinson, really, but he was gone. Kayvon Thibodeau, and I wanted Kyle Hamilton. And then in the second round, I wanted George Pickens and Breece Hall or Nakobe Dean. I was in that camp as well. We didn't know Nakobe Dean was hurt at the time. So then when they took Sauce, I'm like, well, they're going to go wide receiver probably. I knew Kyle Hamilton wasn't going. Like, I was so upset. And then when they traded back, when Jermaine Johnson and Karlaftis slid as far as they did, that gave me hope. But I would have taken Karlaftis. When we traded up, I was hoping that it was Karlaftis. But I love Jermaine Johnson. I'm happy with him. But Karlaftis, I liked better. Jermaine Johnson was out of the top 4, which I didn't have, the guy who was taken first overall by the Jaguars. What's his name again? I forget. But he was like 5th or 6th edge rusher for me. I had Aiden Hutchinson, Thibodeau, Karlaftis, Jermaine Johnson. That's how it went for me that year. So anyway. All right, guys, it's 10:30. I did almost 2 hours with you guys. I thought I was going to do like a half hour. Hour, maybe. No, not Josh Allen. Not that one. That was the Quinnen Williams draft. That was the Quinnen Williams. Yeah, Walker. Right. Trayvon Walker, was it? Remember? Yeah, Trayvon Walker, and he's doing well. He's having himself a nice career. I didn't like him as much. You know, when you get into those, like, it's not like I didn't like him, right? But Trayvon Walker was like 5th. I might have had somebody else stuck in there too. Enigbare or somebody like that, maybe before him. I don't know if that was the same draft. But yeah, for me, it was Aiden Hutchinson all day, and then Thibodeau, and then Karlaftis, and then Jermaine Johnson. But when they traded up and got the edge rusher, then it all made sense to me. I'm like, okay. And then when they got Breece, you know, you're still talking about dumb. I'm not saying, look, just so we're clear. And I don't know if you've been saying, I didn't see any other comments. I didn't have it up. I had the super chat list. So I don't know what you've been saying, but I'm not saying that the Jets don't have a talent issue. Of course. I'm saying that minimizing a victory because we had a benefit on special teams or that we finally got a turnover and suddenly it's fluky and minimized, I think that's an absurd take. I think it's absurd. Yes, we have a talent issue. And a lot of it is by choice. We got rid of Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. We got rid of CJ Mosley was at the end, but we got rid of, CJ Mosley, Solomon Thomas, all the, the aged guys. We got rid of all those guys. And then they brought in guys, Noddy and Cowart, and pivoted from them, Phillips and Briggs. You know what I mean? It's a lot of shit going on here. But then they traded Quinnen, traded Michael Carter, traded Sauce. Yeah. DJ Reed, they let go. He wasn't going to stay anyway, as we've talked about. But I'm not saying anything of the sort. I'm saying that The Jets were in games and could have won. Like this idea that we're a 3-win team, you are what your record says you are, and that's it. It's just like, I get it. That's not untrue, but I'm saying the Jets have been in and could have very easily won other games. So it's not like we're this team that's on the same level as like the Titans. I'm making that point. And the other point is minimizing the victories, because one of them happened on special teams touchdowns. And the other one this week, we finally got a turnover. And that led to a touchdown. That it's fluky. Like, you're minimizing the wins because they were on fluky plays just because they happen to be special teams. Fluky is a pick six. That's fluky. That rarely happens. Like, it was a punt return. We fucking leveled the guy. He dropped the ball and we picked it up, which never hasn't happened all year. One time, which could support the idea of fluky, sure, but it's not like it's part of the game. And again, it's not like the game was 10-7 and the only touchdown we got was because of that. We had drives. Like, it was a good game. It was a well-rounded game. And they're in our weight class, as Ryan would call it. I like that phrasing. Like, the Falcons are in our weight class. It's a team that we should play well and compete with. But the Jets have also competed with better teams, like the Ravens. And Lamar Jackson was kind of not at 100%, but still, we were hanging in that game. And the whole point is that I'm making is that even with the vacuum of talent, we're actually playing harder now and more consistently from the first snap to the last snap than we were when Aaron Rodgers was here or for the last 4 years. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't buy into the idea that just because a play happened that somehow the win isn't as important. I don't understand. Hello, Raphael. Hello. So anyway, let's get out of here. I want to thank you guys for hanging out. I want to thank and remind you guys about the new offer from Ridge Wallet, everybody. Like, come on. Like, 47% off. Save yourselves from the fucking big wallet garbage. You know what I mean? Ridge Wallet. I got mine right here. I love it. Just, whoops. I throw it around all the time and break shit and knock my computer. It's very solid. See what just happened? I dropped it on my computer. It shut down everything. Wow, that was crazy. But the good news is when I drop it, I'm not worried about it breaking. That's good. So anyway, the link is in the description. You can save up to 47% with their Christmas sale, man. Unbelievable. I thank Ridge Wallet for hanging out. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. I have a goal of 15,000. All my buddies are 25, 30,000. Ryan and Richie and Matt and Jake, everybody's 30 grand. And I'm fighting for 15,000. So I'm at like 14,000. I'm just under 14,200. If you'd be so kind, if you haven't subscribed yet, that would be great. Hit the like button on your way out, everybody. And what am I going to do? I promised Dano that I would play the Thursday Thick of It outro so you can hear the accordion guy. So I will see. What's today? Wednesday? I think I'm going to do a show tomorrow too. I'm in the mood this week. Not at 8 o'clock, but I'll do a show tomorrow. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. The link for Dom C's channel and Twitter is in the description, by the way. as is everybody else's. Go give Dom some love. Go to his Twitter page and boo him. Congratulate Dom for being accepted into the Sport Writers Guild. Well earned, well deserved. But anyway, guys, have a good night. I'll see you next time.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, man.
I want to kiss you.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah! You want to run or you want to duck down? You want to duck, just go over and get onto the bench and stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets.